And the rotating thing is actually visible, so. And there goes the first alarm. And the alarms are done.
Okay, welcome everyone. Call this meeting to order. Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Fiscal officer, please call the roll.
All right, Trustee Justberger, Trustee Sword, Trustee Sierra.
Here. Here.
Here.
And then Township Administrator.
Here.
Chief of Fire.
Here.
Chief of Police.
Here.
And Superintendent of Roads.
Here.
Okay, our next meeting will be May the 19th at 12 p.m. I'd like to make a motion to accept the agenda with flexibility.
A second. Never mind. Let Aaliyah do it.
All right, Trustee Sword's got it. So Trustee Justberger, Trustee Sword, Trustee Sierra.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. I'd like to make a motion to approve the bills.
I'll second.
All right, Trustee Justberger, Trustee Sword, Trustee Sierra.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. And I'd like to make a motion to approve payroll.
I will second.
All right, Trustee Justberger, Trustee Sword, Trustee Sierra.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. And we are on to the April fiscal report.
March.
Sorry, agenda says April. Okay. Fiscal
Wait.
officer,
Did we do the payroll?
Yeah,
Oh, we did. I'm sorry.
We
My bad.
That's fine.
That's okay. I'd rather not miss something, so thanks. Okay, fiscal officer, why don't you go ahead and read the March fiscal report?
Okay, March 1st, the township had an overall fund balance of $6,457,890.77. Revenue in the month of March was $1,964,251.98. Expenditures in March was $543,891.56, leaving us with an overall fund balance on March 31st of $7,878,306.19. That included our first half real estate. And it landed pretty much spot on projections. So hopefully it stays that way. It was a big relief because all of us didn't know what COVID was going to bring.
Deb, I was looking at this morning, some of the outstanding payments on the bank reconciliation. Is there, I know we've asked this before, so I apologize, but is there a time limit that we have to wait for these outstanding checks? I mean, there's like some from 17 and 18 on here still, and
So I actually punched through and got 2 of them off of there. Now that I've learned how to do that, that also happened in April. They're larger amounts in April. So for March, I cleared an old $10 check and a $45 check. So we need to do our due diligence to reach out to the vendors. One of them, the 3,000 some, many staff have tried to reach out to that vendor. They literally don't exist anymore. So I believe they have to sit there for 10 years. And then we can say, this isn't going to clear and receipt it back to whatever fund it originally came from. So I can learn if I could move the 3-year-old one that I know that vendor doesn't exist anymore. But I think it might have to sit at the top of that report. But we will certainly get yummy donuts out of there. I know we've all been looking at the $24 one, and then we're hungry for donuts, and
yeah,
any good.
Yeah. And then there's one that's much more recent, but I just didn't know it. And ESO Solutions, do you remember?
Yeah, those are the ones that actually we did write those checks in April. That vendor's address had changed, so there was one from November of last year and then January of this year. So on the next report, those should be out of here. But I also learned I need to loop back with the county auditor. When it's $60, no big deal. But when it's more than 1,000, that means that particular fund was actually carrying over with more significant money than the last that the county auditor knew. So when you see the next April fiscal report, hopefully those ESL or ESOs are not on that list anymore. And I need to loop back with Carrie to let her know that the funds went up to the tune of those checks that we reissued.
Okay, thanks. Either the other trustees have questions for the fiscal officer? I'd like to make a motion then to approve the March fiscal report.
I'll second.
All right, Trustee Jesberger, Trustee Sword, Trustee Sierra.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. And a motion to approve the minutes from the April 21st, 2021 meeting.
I'll second.
Trustee Jesberger, Trustee Sword, Trustee Sierra.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Trustee Jesberger, would you like to make a motion?
Yes. So I received an email from an alumni association that I'm a member of, talking about Light Ohio Blue, which is next week, May 9th through May 15th. The purpose of Light Ohio Blue is to honor and pay respects to the law enforcement officers who have died in the line of duty, as well as those currently serving sworn and civilian staff. So after reading the resolution and changing a few of the words to reflect Clinton Township, I wanted to add this to the agenda for today. Since I moved into our township, I have always felt very proud to have our own police department. I have witnessed firsthand some of the relationships that have been developed between our police and our residents. These relationships are worth more than gold because these relationships are what help to make our township a great place to settle down and call home. We know that faces become familiar, and we know that presence becomes well-known and felt. Each Clinton Township police officer has a tougher job than normal, given the many concerns with policing across the country. Despite this, they show up, they suit up, and they protect and serve our township. This resolution, if passed, acknowledges the good things our Clinton Township police do for our township and residents. And so I wanted to pass a resolution to reflect that Clinton Township is supporting Light Ohio Blue.
Okay, so just generally speaking, you want to go ahead and make your motion before the discussion. So you want to move it?
Yes.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion to table. That motion dies for lack of a second. Fiscal officer, is there any further discussion on the motion?
I'm sorry, I didn't understand. When you say, I don't understand what you mean when you say motion to table.
I
What does
moved
that
to
mean?
I moved to table your motion. I did not get a second. I did not get a second for that. So that motion is dead. We're back to the original motion, your motion.
Okay, so what is the process after that? Like, am I allowed to second my own motion?
You don't need to. Trustee Sword did. Trustee
Right.
Sierra was saying like, let's put this off for another meeting, but she didn't get a second. So I know it's a little hard. There was actually two motions that happened. You made a proposal, Trustee Sword seconded that, and then Jane said, let's table it, which means doesn't pass or fail, just address it at a future meeting. But Trustee Sierra didn't get a second to tabling. So now we're back to just your original motion.
Is there discussion on the motion?
I have no discussion.
We're ready for the roll.
Okay, I'll do these one at a time. Trustee Jessberger,
Yes.
Trustee Sword,
Yes.
Trustee Sierra.
Abstention.
So the motion passes.
I'd like to make a motion to reaffirm the revised Clinton Township IEP as of this date.
I'll second.
I'm sorry, was that Trustee Jessberger?
Yes.
Okay. Any discussion? Are you ready for the roll call? No discussion?
Nope.
Okay. Trustee Jessberger, Trustee Sword, Trustee Sierra.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I'd like to make a motion to extend the COVID leave policies that were adopted in resolution 20-04-017 through April 30th of 2021.
I'll second.
So in terms of some discussion there, the original policies that we passed had a sunset clause in them that ended with the calendar year, which would have left employees who took advantage of that or needed that in a little bit of a place between now and last December 31st. So I thought we need to extend that in order to avoid any situations like that. And I guess I'll do it. Were there questions or discussion on that?
Just an HR thing. What this means is if someone needs to stay home because they're sick for whatever reason, or if they were exposed to COVID, this would now come out of their regular sick leave bank, is really this change starting from May 1st forward.
Ready for the roll, I think.
Okay. Trustee Jessberger, Trustee Sword, Trustee Sierra.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And we're on to committee reports.
Chief Fraley, I'll let you do the chat honors this time around if you'd like.
Sure, thank you. So produce markets served 92 families on April 9th and 80 families on April 23rd. And then we also followed that up on the 26th with a Farmers to Families free food box giveaway, where we distributed about 1,100 boxes of dairy and produce. Also on April 23rd, the Columbus Blue Jackets were on site to recognize the fire department for First Responders Night with CBJ in honor of our efforts with community outreach. We had some of their alumni here, Jody Shelley and John Luke and Pierre, helping us distribute produce. It was a pretty fun night. They gave us pizza and gave us some tickets for the game. Everybody enjoyed that greatly. So our next market will be not this Friday, but the following. I'm sorry, I don't have the date right in front of me. And again, that will be from 4 to 6 p.m. Still a drive-through market, bringing people in on Elmore Avenue east to Brandon. Try to enter the back of the fire station that way for us. Please wear a mask. We will still be wearing masks and gloves and keeping everybody protected as you come through.
That would be May 15th. I'm sorry, 14th. Friday?
Thank you.
Oh, Friday, yeah. May 14th
Yeah.
is next Friday. Will there be one the fourth Friday of the month as well in May?
So this month will be the 14th and the 28th.
Okay, great.
And also on the 14th, we will be distributing our CSFP boxes. And Chief Jones has advised us that he did get a hold of some more gun locks for us to distribute at the upcoming markets also.
I'm gonna just jump in if I might, on that last sentence there, Chief. One of the things that came up in a department heads meeting this week was when Chief Jones discussed getting those gun locks, and how quickly they tend to go. So I had an idea this morning that I would perhaps offer a motion to transfer some money from general into police to enable us to buy a bunch more of those than we're just getting donated. And then I thought to myself, well, I can't actually just do that. So we can't use township money basically as a giveaway. So that raises the question for me about, we could do this with, if we were to work with a nonprofit. And so that just raised the question for me is, anybody can think about a relationship that we're having with a current nonprofit, or if we can do a little more legwork on some research around that. I'd love to be able to make that happen in order to support Chief getting some more of those in for us to be able to give away in a fashion where we can make it work logistically.
So our chat meeting is tomorrow afternoon. I can bring this up there as well to see if anybody else has any other nonprofit ideas, or if we have another nonprofit at the table during the meeting, that would be even better. And I understand that both Chief Fraley and Chief Jones have kind of done a little bit of legwork looking into getting a nonprofit established and what that would take. So maybe a revisit there to see where we're at in that process, or what else needs to be done, what the steps are. Be awesome as well. Any other ideas?
So with Project Child Safe, we were able to obtain 2 more cases of the gun locks for our promotion. I don't know that they have a limit. I would like to get some photos so they could display on their webpage of what we're doing as far as getting the safety aspect out to the community. And I can reach back out to them. They don't have a direct phone number to call. It's all by email. But if we have success with this next drive, we can reach out and see what kind of a limit we can get, that we are able to get a lot of these out, and see if we can't get more that way as well.
Great, thanks, Chief.
Jane, if I'm able to find a nonprofit or come up with some ideas, do you want me to pass that information along to you, since you've been sitting in on the department head meetings, or give it to one of the chiefs?
It'll work either way.
Okay.
Whoever you see first.
Okay.
I just want to say what an awesome idea the gun locks were to begin with. Very much needed, especially with everything that's going on right now. So I'm excited to see these flying off the shelves like they are, and I am happy to facilitate however we need to get as many in our hands as possible to get out there to the public.
Yeah, okay, thanks, everybody. We'll keep working it.
Looks like number 2, chat with the trustee. I talked with Administrator Huffman, and we are going to be going to the west side on Sunday, May 16th from 12 to 2 at the shelter house to meet with west side residents and east side if they wanted to go over there. So I'm assuming there'll be the sign up form online as it was with Trustee Sword, so people can pick times to sign up.
That's good news. I actually had my chat with the trustee this past weekend. It went well. We had fantastic weather, which I hope you do as well. I actually had a couple of emails from residents asking when the next one would be. So I'll pass that info along as well. And yeah.
Mr. Huffman, would you just sort of go the extra mile with Glenda when it comes to social media announcements about this opportunity? Because it's going to be, I think, very easy for people to not understand that we're looking for 10 people sign up, and that could get overwhelming really quickly on the west side.
We'll
When
get it
I
up
did
like
one, I had more than 20 people show, so.
we'll get it posted like we did Trustee Swords, and get it out as quickly as possible as well, since we're about a week and a half out.
Yeah, but I mean, just really stressing the sign up aspect and the 10-person perimeter that we're trying to work within, so.
Sure.
Thanks. And I think that means we're on to you.
All right. First of all, I apologize if I've not been maybe focused on my camera. Apparently, we had some issues with our individuals getting access to the live feed on YouTube. I've been able to see it here that we are live, but I guess people haven't been able to get signed in. So I've been dealing with some emails and chats about that, but apparently that has since been fixed. I'm not sure what caused that, but we will take a look at that and try to ensure that it does not happen for the next meeting. So for the residents who've been trying to get on, I apologize, and we'll look into that. But the YouTube feed that I see on my one screen has been active from the get-go. So it is at least being recorded and will be available for residents to review at least the first part of the meeting that they may have missed. So just kind of a heads up on that. We obviously have been working with a consultant and trying to improve the overall logo for the township. Through that process, the consultant has met with internal staff, they met with business owners, some residents, and came up with potential logos for the township. We've worked through several reiterations of that logo, had it narrowed down to 2. Through several different venues, mainly the produce market, the farmers, the families, on Nextdoor and Facebook. We did a poll of residents to determine whether A or B or 1 or 2. And I'm not to be kind of afraid to share anything because of the issue we had with it, but I'll kind of maybe hold it up here. Option 1 and option 2. Through the process of the poll, we reached out to, well, we received roughly 170 responses to the logo. Overwhelming response was for logo 2, which is the bottom logo. That had 138 votes versus 32 for logo 1. So that's like a 19% vote for logo 1 and 81% for logo 2. So I guess I would request a resolution to adopt logo 2 for Clinton Township.
So moved.
I'll second.
Ready for the roll call?
Looks like it, yes.
Okay, trustee Sword, I'm sorry, trustee Jesberger, trustee Sword, trustee Sierra.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
And then my monthly report has been submitted to the trustees. Meetings going forward, I'll try to focus on big projects that I worked on throughout the month. I was unable to actually get that whittled down this particular month. So going forward, I'll try to specify specific things from that report for the record.
This might be a great opportunity to mention one of the ideas that came up might have been Chief Jones's idea to begin with. I'm not sure now, but we talked about as soon as we had a logo adopted, perhaps ordering a large wall graphic for the blank wall in the lobby that would have our new colors and everything up there. Realizing that it won't overcome our PO limit by any means, so we didn't really need to seek approval, but I did want to make sure that trustees felt like that was a good feature for the lobby. So we'll be talking about that big blank wall that's to the right of the window as you face the window. Is that okay?
Absolutely, yeah. I think that's a great
Cool.
idea.
We may even want to think about a particular wall in the community room eventually too. That one really long back wall has always screamed community mural to me. So
Yeah.
perhaps when we can gather more normally, we can consider some sort of mural project for that big wall, but there are other places where it might also be nice to have our logo. So maybe just be thinking about that next time you're in the room, everybody, and we can examine some ideas for that too.
Sounds good.
Exciting. I want to thank everybody. Department heads have gone through quite a process with that. Mr. Huffman for kind of being information point person for us. It was a long process to felt, getting through the logo, and really pleased myself with process went and everybody's participation. Chief Fraley.
Yeah, so we just have a monthly report. I had sent out to you guys this morning, and I was just going to hit a couple of the highlights on here. Under training, I just want to let everybody know 3 of our firefighters successfully passed the entry exam for the fire instructor class that we have starting in May. If they successfully complete the course, this will make all full-time firefighters certified state of Ohio fire instructors, which will be a very nice accomplishment for the department. Under our community outreach, under the CSFP program, I just want to let everybody know, since the newsletter was distributed, we have had 5 more individuals sign up for that program. So once that has gone out, word has spread, and we also have been receiving more calls on our free smoke alarm program, with 7 free smoke alarms installed this month. So again, those are the big items. If you have any questions, please let me know.
Thanks, Chief. Chief Jones?
I just would report I do not have a monthly report this month. We're in the middle of a conversion with Franklin County. We're switching over to a matrix system from the old justice portal. We should be live, I believe, June 14th, and we're actually initiating training over the next few weeks to get officers up to par on that, which should give us a little more specific reporting data back as far as runs and investigations. It's going to simplify our data to the prosecutor's office for criminal court cases, so we can compile everything on the matrix, from our body cam video to reports and witness statements, and package it all together without killing more trees, as we say. So it's going to simplify our paperwork and record processing here at the township as well. So we should be back up and running for the June meeting for reports. The only other things I have, we mentioned Project Child Safe earlier with the gun locks. Get those out to the community. If we can have something put on the front board out front when we mention the food drive, to kind of throw their logo out there as well for their gracious assistance in helping us promote that project here. Also on June the 18th, it's going to be a Friday. Officer Batters signed up it's a Grace Haven Over the Edge program. It's a fundraiser. They're trying to raise a lot of money to help end child sex trafficking here in Central Ohio. Right now, he is the leading person on the donation chart. So he more than likely will be one of the participants going over the Chase Bank downtown. So I'll be gladly assisting on the sidewalk, watching him rappel down the building. But if anybody would like to donate to the cause, we've put it on our Facebook page for the township. But if you go to gracehavenovertheedge.com, search for Officer Batters, and you can donate for his cause on that. But Grace Haven, we've been great partners with them, reaching out to the folks that they serve and help get their lives turned around. And child sex trafficking, as we all know, is a big issue here in the country and globally. So we're trying to do our part here within the township. And just to mention to the board, I'll be out of the office most of next week down at Orient at the State Corrections Academy doing some in-service training with our folks. So we will have plenty of shift coverage on the streets, but we're going to be taking officers out during the Monday through Thursday for advanced training. That's all I have.
Thanks, Chief. And our thanks to Officer Batters for this. It's a great cause, great fundraiser. Everybody go to that link.
Make sure we get video so we can put it on Facebook.
I told Chief yesterday, put about 5 body cameras on him and so we can get Superintendent Flagg.
Good afternoon, everyone. First, I would like to request a purchase order payable to Buyers Ford in the amount of $41,154 for the purchase of a 2022 F550 chassis to be paid from Fund 2031-760750.
So moved.
I'll second.
Oh,
My turn.
Jeff gets it.
All right, Jess gets it. Trustee Jessberger, Trustee Sword, Trustee Sierra.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Second, I would like to request a purchase order payable to Ace Truck Body Incorporated in the amount of $37,929 for the purchase and installation of a dump body, salt spreader, snow plow, and other minor equipment on the F550 chassis to be paid from Fund 2031-760-750.
I'll second.
So moved.
Oh, I'll second. I'm all a mess today. I'm sorry, guys.
I was famous for that last year.
I think you guys are more excited than I am. And lastly, I have monthly.
Hold on,
I gotta-
hold on, Corey.
Gotta do the roll.
Vote.
I gotta do the roll call. Gotta savor the moment. Replacing an 08 truck, I think. All
Hold
right.
on with the roll call. Hold the roll call. Corey, do we are replacing an 08, and then was it one of the ones that had a stainless steel bed or a regular?
It has a regular steel bed and it is just rusted away.
Right, and so the new one is stainless steel like our last purchase has been, so maybe we'll,
Yes.
yes. Great. We shall see how the salt does on the new truck. That was my only question.
I have a question. Are we going to get this truck Line-X'd or undercoated at all? Is that a question? Does it come undercoated from factory? Since it is a salt truck, I think the most protection is probably the best protection, and those undercoating jobs can't be more than a couple of $1,000s at max if it's going to buy us some prevention and time.
That's something I could look into, but the chassis paint actually holds up really well on these trucks. And all the upfitting equipment will be stainless steel, so there's no need to Line-X any of that.
Yeah. Okay.
We also purchased a attachment for a pressure washer last winter for power washing the chassis. So I feel like the crew's doing a better job of keeping the trucks clean than has been done in the past.
Okay. Just thinking ahead, that's all.
Okay, now I think we might be ready for a roll.
Okay. Trustee Jessberger, Trustee Sword, Trustee Sierra.
Yes.
And last, I emailed everyone the monthly report last Friday.
Thanks for that. And everybody take a good look at Superintendent Flagg. This is his busy time of year. Otherwise, he's a blur. Just a happy year. You guys are doing great stuff out there. I really appreciate how the parks have been looking this spring, especially. Okay. We are down to other items.
I have one thing really quickly that I probably should have put in our committee team report section. I signed the Case Road Community Garden up for a community corridor pollinator project. So this is funded by a grant from the Manitou Fund for 6 individuals or entities to receive 10 to 12 native plants for pollinators. So we have a pollinator bed at the Case Road Community Garden. I can share the link. There is a link where you can sign up if you have other areas that may be of interest, or if you're an individual as well. It is required that you submit your form by May 10th. I will send this link to both Glinda and Matt and Fiscal Officer Steele to get in the minutes. I'm sure it will be well past that by then, but it is Sunny Glen Garden in North Linden that is actually sponsoring this. And for those of you that don't know her, she does a fantastic job on education and pollination and self-sustainability. This is to help reverse the 30% drop in our bird population and 90% of our monarch population over the last 25 years. So putting these little pockets of pollinator beds throughout the city is the key in helping revive those diminishing numbers. But we're excited to see if we qualify for that, and I'll keep you guys posted.
Question for you.
Sure.
So when we got the grant from Franklin Soil and Water for the pollinator perennials that went in at the Sale Road Playground and Veterans Park, those were all pollinator beds as well. We got that was part of that grant. So were you indicating that there's more available than just the community garden to apply for? For example,
Yeah.
Superintendent Flagg knows that we've lost some plants or something out of either of those other beds, that we could perhaps get some more for those parks as well.
Yeah, well, what this is she's got 10 to 12 native plants that will be provided to 6 individuals, families, or organizations who live in or near the Linden area to create connecting corridors of safe habitats and food sources for these pollinators and birds. So it looks like she's got 6 spots of 10 to 12 plants available.
Okay, so kind of an application grant thing too. Okay, yep. I understand. Thanks.
Yep, that's all I had.
What other items are there to come before the board? Seeing none, I would like to make a motion to enter an executive session according to ORC 121.22 G3 in order to confer with an attorney concerning imminent or pending court action.
I'll second.
Trustee Jessberger, Trustee Sword, Trustee Sierra.
Yes.
Yes.
See everybody next time on this channel. And see the trustees and teams.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay, we are back in session at 1:32. I'd like to make a motion to authorize Mr. Lafayette to engage in the release settlement agreement for Kyle Whalen.
I'll second.
Was that, okay. Trustee Sword, sorry, trustee Jesberger, trustee Sword, trustee Sierra.
Yes.
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion to enter an executive session according to ORC 121.22 G1 to consider the appointment, employment, promotion, or compensation of public employees or officials.
I'll second.
Trustee Jesberger, trustee Sword, trustee Sierra.
Yes.
Yep.
Mr. Huffman, you're here, or do you want to join us first in Teams? I'll give you a call.
Muted.
We are back in session at 2:12.
Can I use some flexibility for a kudos and appreciation? I know it's
Especially
like
since
way late, but I wanted to give a huge thanks to Officer Gio for helping at the Farmers to Families. He loaded that Tahoe up quite a few times, making it into apartment buildings where people don't have transportation and making sure everybody got big 35-pound box of awesomeness. So thank you so much. Really appreciated.
I'm going to use some flexibility too and take a moment of personal privilege here. Talk about some of the events earlier in the meeting today. I find it disappointing that the board was forced into a vote over something that, in my opinion, could have been a public service announcement. I find it politically detrimental to all of us. I find it culturally insensitive that at this time in this society, an all-white board in a township with all-white leadership would do something so dismaying to communities of color. My abstention today will cost me politically with people who do not understand it. All of that could have been avoided. I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Thank you.